So after reading the article about UCI biomedical engineers developing wearable respiration monitor, I was mesmerized by how much technology has advanced in the medical field, and I was also especially amazed that the monitor was developed by our fellows at UCI. So the monitor was designed to track the rate and volume of the wear and respiration to prevent asthma attack. It can also help cystic fibrosis and other chronic pulmonary conditions. So I thought that this was very useful as I do have a few family members who also have asthma and other respiration disease. So upon reading this, it can be seen that the combination of technology and health together could help many health conditions. So the monitor is simply a thin material made of metal attached to a sheet of plastic toy as small as a bandage. So this actually makes monitoring children's respiration easier and probably more comfortable. The monitor is also especially useful for a newborn baby to monitor the breathing without many wires hooking onto the baby. And from this innovation, it is important to note that the monitor was able to be developed successfully because it was funded by the National Health Institute and the University of California Accelerated Innovation. So from this, I think that we should really think about that maybe more funding for health technology advancement might be able to help many other health conditions.
So, while I was reading the paper on the impact of information technology on patient engagement and health behavior change, they talked about how certain IT platforms were effective for certain disorders. I was reading through the different studies and saw how texting and social media help diabetic patients in improving their health and patient engagement. This reminded me of a social support theory in 1976 where John Cassell saw associations between social support and physical health in multiple disorders and diseases. And basically, those that had social support had some influence on their health state. In this study, because diabetic patients use texting for questions and communication with their health providers, there was more access for patients to talk to their providers and quicker response rates rather than asking them in person. Moreover, their use of Facebook as a social support group with other people living with diabetes gave them a community with vast knowledge on how to deal with certain aspects of it. And because these patients had better communication with their doctors and a sense of a close-knit community, they had reported better health outcomes.
Hi, this is Chris. I'm going to be talking about Dr. Michelle Kine's presentation yesterday, which completely blew me away. It was just amazing. Basically, she said after the birth of her son, he had to go to an emergency room. And she realized that the technology used to monitor his respiration was kind of archaic in her mind. Um, and it really upset her. And she sent pictures of her son to her lab and said, "We got to do better than this. It's 2018." So they did better than what they had. And they used, she's known for using a childhood toy or elements called Shrinky Dinks um, to hold sensors that can monitor your breathing, and that information can be transmitted via Bluetooth to be displayed on a smart app. Um, so basically, she used a childhood toy to create an amazing breakthrough in medical technology. The coolest thing about it was, and I talked to her after, everything she says, it's not, "Hey, are we going to figure this out? Hey, I wonder if we can do this." It's just in her mind, it's like a matter of time. Oh yeah, we'll do that in a matter of, eventually. Oh yeah, it's around the corner. It was absolute confidence and belief that kind of what needed to be created will be created. So absolutely inspirational. It made me wish that I had gone into bioengineering. Anyway, that's it. She inspired me. It was great having her. Thanks.
What's up, everybody? We're going to be talking about the biomedical engineering article today. Current standards of care in respiratory pulmonary measurements are subpar. They essentially take screenshots of what's going on in like your lungs and stuff, and that doesn't always show problems that need to be fixed right away. It can miss certain things. And what this new device does is a wearable disposable monitor for asthma, cystic fibrosis, and other chronic pulmonary diseases. You wear it like a band-aid, and it goes in between your ninth and 10th rib, and it was based off a toy called a Shrinky Dink. And all it does is you just stick it on your body, and it consistently measures information for you. I think it's really cool, and the way that it came up was amazing. So one of the biomedical engineers had a newborn, and her newborn was hooked up to a bunch of different wires, and the information was fairly inaccurate, and she was really worried because she wasn't able to hold her son for the first 8 days of him living. And as a mother, that must be very, very sad and hard on her. And I really, really appreciate how she made something out of her own experience. And speaking from personal experience about asthma, growing up, I had asthma attacks fairly consistently. There was even a time where I had an asthma attack in my sleep, and I wasn't we weren't able to tell back then. It was hard to tell, and normally when it was an oncoming attack, it had to be followed immediately by an inhaler, or if I had access to a nebulizer, which turns liquid medicine into gas for me to breathe into my lungs to let my lungs kind of undilate. And it's really, really difficult to find those things, but I think that this device will be really beneficial for future generations because they'll be able to detect that right away. And if they have their inhaler on in their hand or near them, they'll be able to get it before an attack happens, reducing the risk of something really terrible happening. So thank you for listening.